refused to pay for her friend's food and was only willing to pay.
So the bill's $5.16, so I'm gonna just take out what I got, and then y'all can just split the bill on y'all own.
The woman refused to pay for her friend's food and was only willing to pay for what she personally ordered. However, the others insisted that everyone was on the same bill and that they should be splitting the bill. She was mocked by her friends and told, if you don't have money, you shouldn't have come. This happened at a birthday gathering. When it came time to pay, her friends demanded that the bill be split evenly. But she believed she had already made it clear beforehand that she would be paying separately. She repeatedly emphasized that she had only ordered chicken wings and French fries. Emotions on both sides quickly escalated. In the end, she directly called over the server and asked for her bill to be separated, stating that the others could split the rest of the bill among the 7 of them. However, online reactions were overwhelmingly consistent. Those who insisted on splitting the bill were seen as taking advantage of her. Many said she should find new friends because those people were not truly her friends. If this were you, what would you have done?
So the bill was about $515, and there was about 7 of them, and they were trying to split it. So let's be honest. If they'd have all split that bill, it'd have been just short of probably $80 each. And she said that she only had wings and fries. So she probably didn't even spend $25. But they tried to guilt her and shame her into doing something that wasn't in her best interest financially or really even fair. And this is what people try to do. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I like that she stood on her principles and she ultimately stood on the facts, because the facts are, I didn't even spend half of what you guys are trying to get me to ultimately discount on your side. They're basically trying to have the full experience. Maybe she was trying to be fiscally responsible, but now they're looking at this as an opportunity to take advantage of you and get a discount for what they ultimately consumed. And so they're gaslighting you and they're trying to make it seem one way while at the same time humiliating you, because the majority is their best interest is to get you to take a portion of what they consumed and pay for that. So they've all basically come together, and it's malicious and it's manipulative. And see, this is how we can start to be influenced if we don't stay on track and stay on truth ultimately. Because this can actually bleed out into a plethora of other realms and things that are much more important than this, even some of the things I talk about. Sometimes, because when I'm talking, I'm usually just stating the facts and I'm stating the truth. And then sometimes you'll have people who try to detract away from it because they don't like the way it feels, or because they may not feel incentivized, or they're biased on another side and taking up a stance or an opinion. They've self-identified with an opinion. See, the thing about it is, I'm not self-identified with opinions. I always feel vindicated when I stand on truth, even in these uncomfortable situations, because this could come out in other ways. This could come out if you're a guy and you're taking a chick out for something to eat and you just decide, well, no, I'd rather go Dutch. Imagine somebody feeling entitled to your finances in any way, shape, or form. Anything I do is going to be because I want to do it. And you know what's funny? When people grow dependent and entitled upon what they expect you to do, they don't even appreciate it. But when they know that you have a boundary to where, no, I just do what I want to do. I do it if I want to do it, but don't expect it. When you do it, I guarantee you they'll be much more appreciative every time. And that's really a principle and a life lesson. It's a law of life. Y'all, let's get back into it, though. We got some more things to review. If you could like the video, though, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's really only a click. So if you're here anyway, you might as well just click that like button. And also, if you could hype.
Separated. I got the birthday girl and my wife.
Separate cake. So are you the only man at this table? Why are we doing separate cakes? It's all women here.
No, but I'm not responsible for paying everybody. I got the birthday girl.
You invited everybody. You invited all of us.
I didn't invite you, but I didn't sign up for that. Okay, there's nobody else doing
But you participated. I know we ain't got cake.
I don't care how y'all do
I
it.
didn't order. Well, I'm sorry. Dave, but you always pay. Like you're the only man at the table. You're not gonna pay the check.
If it's, but I don't. I'm not obligated.
Freudian slip. Look, they don't even appreciate it. Did you hear what she said? She said, "Jay, but you always pay," and then she caught herself. Listen to that again.
I got my whole family. But I
Hold
don't.
on.
I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
At the table, you're not
No,
gonna pay the check.
if it's, but I don't. I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
It's $700 for this whole table, and it's my birthday.
Dang. I was trying to go back to that part.
But I don't. I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
Well, I'm sorry. Dave, but you always pay. Like you're the only man at the
Look, Jay, but you always pay. And then she caught herself, and then she decided to go to her second point, which was, but you're the only man at the table. What is that supposed to mean? See, if we stay in reality, if we stay logical, we say, oh, I'm the only man at the table. Oh, cool. If we're going to stay on traditional values, that means that when I call y'all, all y'all do what I say. Since equality doesn't exist, right? But I bet you they would argue for equality. But then in certain situations where they could benefit from, all of a sudden equality is not a thing, and you're the only man at the table. You're in charge. You're running ish when it comes to paying our expenses. In no other realm will we listen to you. But when it comes to you paying this tab, oh yeah, we submit to that. And this is how they'll gaslight you, as well as really understand what she's saying. She said, but you always pay the tab. Freudian slip. So wouldn't that then lead someone to be appreciative for all the past times that you've always paid the tab? But didn't I tell you, when people come to expect things, they actually don't even appreciate it anymore. And they actually just feel like that's the standard. They feel entitled to that. They just come to expect it, and they don't even appreciate all the past things you've done. Imagine if he tallied up all the times that he's paid, and they're not even appreciative for all the things that he's done. Who thinks he can pull up a dossier of all the times that they've spent on him? It wouldn't be anything, probably. It'd probably be some socks on his birthday. But yet, they don't even appreciate the fact that he's done it all those past times. And it's just, if you're not doing it now, then you ain't ish. You're a piece of ish. You're a piece of crap. And that's just factually untrue. But this is how people will gaslight you. And again, this extends to other areas of life that you have to hold firm on and just understand that you are righteous and you are justified. Because listen, if you want to be unappreciated, do you. But no, I'm going to get my flowers while I'm on this earth. I'm going to be appreciated for the work that I do and for the things that I do for people. Because it's my choice. And nobody's ever going to strip me of my power. No one will ever strip me of my power. You do have a choice, no matter what constructs or what forms of manipulation somebody tries to break out on you.
The table, you're not gonna pay the check.
If it's, but I don't. I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
It's $700 for this whole table, and it's my birthday.
This is your podcast co-host. This is your
Only
best friend.
$700.
It's
No. No, see, again, we got to stay on truth. We got to stay on facts. He actually told the waiter initially, I'm going to pay for my family, and then I'm going to pay for the birthday girl. And then the other people whose birthday it isn't, the other people whose it's not their birthday, then they tried to jump in, and the birthday girl just said, oh, okay, I'll join in on the finesse, because when it's y'all birthday, I'm sure I'm going to get covered too. So we're all locked in on this. Cool. It's going to always benefit us no matter what. No. And it doesn't matter what type of, girl code is coming in front of you. And see, where he should go a step further. If I was him, I guess it's his podcast co-host, so he still has to keep a relationship with her. But if I was him, I would say, hey, next time I'm gonna send you your gift or whatever. But because of this situation and where I felt uncomfortable and where I said no, and where I said that I was going to do things this way, and then After I already told you what I wasn't willing to do, people kept trying to press me to do something that goes against that. Because I felt so uncomfortable, I won't be attending any more of the celebrations or events, especially when it's going to be involving other people that I'm not familiar with. If you want to do something with you and I on a separate occasion or whatever, then we can do that. But if there's going to be anyone there that I'm not familiar with that would then feel entitled to me, then I'm no longer going to be involved with that. See, that would be really establishing a boundary and ultimately establishing respect. And I think more men, especially black men, need to get more accustomed to being willing to do that, which really it's not like I'm telling you to abuse anybody. I'm just saying withdrawal of yourself. And ultimately, I think when you withdraw yourself, what you'll find is that you'll actually be at more peace. And funny enough, you won't be in positions where people are trying to get you to spend a, almost 3/4 of a grand, almost $1,000 just on a whim, because that's disrespectful. And you should not tolerate disrespect like that. That's very disrespectful.
You being cheap.
Are you kidding me right
You
now?
honestly being cheap right now.
Okay,
You
first,
being
if that
cheap?
was the case, I'd have just took you out
are
to
you
lunch
being
with your
sick?
birthday.
Dre, are you gonna let him sit here with a whole table full of women?
I really feel like it's not his responsibility, and when y'all get a husband,
I'm married.
And they don't even have husbands. Ain't it so telling? And then if the disrespect didn't go further than where it already was, then you would try to go to my other half and try to basically put her against me. And then me and her are going to have to deal with things once we're out of you all's presence. And now you could have just stirred up a conflict in his marriage. That's how disrespectful and overstepping that these women are. Ain't that something? Disrespectful. Hold on. It was something that I wanted to talk about too. Hold on.
and when y'all get a husband, I really feel like it's not his.
Dre, are you gonna let him sit here with a whole table full of women?
I'd have just took you out
Are
to
you
lunch
being
with your
sick?
birthday.
Dre, are you gonna?
That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that you should never argue with people who benefit from misunderstanding you. That's one of my favorite quotes. See, that's where this brother's going wrong. He's going back and forth and he's explaining and all this type of stuff. Imagine you got to explain why you're not doing something that you socially really shouldn't have to. And even if it was down to social dynamics, you technically don't have to. You're your own person. You have free will. And you have to sit here and try to convince them of why you're not about to pay for all them. Never. Man, I would have got up so fast and never had nothing to do with none of them. Their head would have been spinning. But he's continuing to sit here and subject himself to this, as well as we can't miss sight or lose sight of the fact that one of these ladies, this is how you know he's just got women, he's got people around him that he don't know who they are. He's out in the wild. He's got some wild women around him because one of these women then took out her phone and started recording him with the intention of embarrassing him, either embarrassing him or using it as a tactic and as a method to shame him to ultimately capitulating to what she wants. And he's still subjecting himself to it.
Let him sit here with a whole table full of women?
I really feel like it's not his responsibility, and when y'all get a husband,
I'm married.
I'm sorry, I do have a husband though. Hold on, wait a minute.
Thank
I do have a
y'all.
husband.
So Donnie, you're good because it's your birthday, but the
Y'all
rest of y'all,
calm
we gonna
down.
have to chip in. You need to leave.
No, I'm not paying for anything.
This is
I'm
fine.
not paying for anything.
No.
I'm not paying for anything.
I'm gonna tell you tomorrow.
No, he's the man at the table. He needs to pay.
Can you please separate the checkbook?
No, because I'm saying that's ghetto. Like, you don't come to no establishment like that talking about splitting checks.
Separate it. I got the.
See, understand. Look how far they took it. You got one person recording. You got now she done You got one other person starting to get loud now and start to get embarrassing. These are all tactics to where it would get a man to just say they don't even want to deal with this and they just do whatever it is that they want them to do. How did these women end up in this situation around y'all? Because to what this reveals to me is they broke. That's what that reveals to me. They're broke. And so I feel like this could be out of desperation, honestly. They might not have it, but they were indulging. And I bet you they were the ones who were running up that bill the most. Why were they running up that bill the most? It comes back to that entitlement thing and that unappreciative thing that I mentioned.
I'm not splitting no check. I told them to get some. I'm not splitting no check with y'all, so I don't know why y'all splitting no check. I'm not doing it. I didn't eat all that y'all ate. Y'all getting drinks and y'all didn't get all that. I got this. No, it don't matter. It's my birthday. I got it paid for. We're not gonna do this birthday. So y'all trying to split the check? Who paying for your shit? I'm paying for my own shit. We need to get separate checks. I'm not splitting no check. I can't wait till y'all 24 hours up. Why would I split a check with y'all? I can't wait. Why y'all split a check? I'm at house though. I'm paying for my own shit. I'm not splitting no check because I didn't eat all that. Got drinks and all that y'all got. But we always do that. We don't. I don't always do a fuck thing. I don't eat with y'all. I eat by myself. You can eat with y'all. I be by myself. I ain't my food and I pay for my stuff. My food. I don't eat with y'all. I'm not splitting no check. Y'all drink no more of this bottle though. I ain't got to. I ain't got to. I'm drunk now. You feeling great? I'm drunk now. You feeling great? Well, next time I want to put on a split a check.
You know what? No.
I'm not. I ain't got enough, bro.
The caption.
I only had one drink, bro. You had all this food. I'm not doing this shit. Yes, you is. It's your people. I don't care about no mothers.
I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties. The caption says this man invited his whole family out to eat just to say his baby mama got to split the bill with him, and the bill was $600.
I'm not doing this shit. Yes, you is. It's your people. I don't care about no Mother's Day, none of that shit. What did you invite all of them out for? That's what you want to do. It's not my idea. I'm gonna pay for everything I have. This is your family. What you gonna do if I walk out? What you gonna do if I walk out? Don't walk out. Hey, I don't got no money. I only got $20, bro. Don't touch me. I only got $20. Get your purse so we can go. So we can go. Get this phone. Y'all don't got nothing to do with me. I'm leaving my money, bro. I paid for a drink. That's it. That's all. Why did you invite all these people out? I don't give a damn about none of that, bro. Why did you invite all these people out? I don't got it, bro. The bill costs $500. I don't got no fucking $500, bro. You want to put this shit on me? I ain't got this. I'm tweaking, bro. I'm finna go.
And you know what's crazy too? This dude still looks like a young man. Of course, he's making adult decisions. He's got a baby on the way, it looks like. But what I don't like in the black community is that we will subject young men to these unrealistic standards before they've even really started to establish themselves, which ultimately still just keeps them down. While at the same time, he'll have this obligation to have to pay for his entire family because they're coming to celebrate whatever. But yet he gets no respect. His ideas, his thoughts aren't going to be heard, and they're going to be shut down. He's not going to get any respect, but at any point where he can take the burden off other people financially, oh, you can have all that. But he actually gets no power as far as being able to regulate anything. And again, it's tough out here. Nowadays, just for single people, it's hard to try to live single and not live off two incomes. So they are starting a family and they're doing it clearly very young. And to think that he just has all this money to be able to spend it. However, this is how we continue to keep ourselves at the bottom over these little things. Just everybody just make sure that your glass is full and Everybody continue to fill your glass at the same time. And once everybody gets to an overflow, or maybe if certain individuals get to an overflow, then you can, if you so choose to, decide to do certain gestures that you want to do just out of the kindness of your heart, but you're still not obligated to do it. I don't care if you go to the NBA, you're not obligated to do anything that you don't want to do. You're not entitled to do it. You don't have to do it. And see, even in those situations, why it becomes so hard, because I always tell people and recommend to people, keep your financial situation to yourself, because some people do it to themselves. You can't wait to tell everybody you got all this money and you doing so well, and then they ask for some of it, and then all of a sudden you're surprised. In the example of if you're an NBA player or whatever, a lot of times your contracts are public record and people already know what you're getting, which again, that still does not entitle to them to any of it. Any of it. And you don't have to explain why. It is your decision. And we have a very skewed philosophy to where people who are responsible for themselves can start to feel entitled to other people's hard work or other people's outcomes. And that's very flawed. And that's a problem, because ultimately they're not going to take responsible for it if everything comes crashing down. But people will feel responsible, or people will feel entitled to things when everything is up. And now you see guys like Adrian Broner talking about things like that. Now, when he was on top of the world, everybody wanted to be around. Everybody wanted to be in the spotlight with him and wanted to be going out with him. And he was always paying for everything. But when he falls on hard times, everyone's nowhere. Nobody is there. If you don't know who Adrian Broner is, Adrian Broner was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather, but he couldn't get his habits in order and he couldn't stay disciplined. So he ended up losing fights and eventually just withering away. Still great, nonetheless, but he also had really bad habits, and he likes to drink a lot. And so he ultimately ended up going broke. And now he's having a resurgence by doing streaming content, which, funny enough, when it comes to content, I see people all the time who are very talented, but they're just in the wrong format. And I'll see some people who decide that they're going to do interview type videos, but yet they're very entertaining, and they should be doing streaming type stuff or vlogging type stuff because they're entertaining. It's some people who could be so successful, but they're just in the wrong format. So he done found his format. Even in boxing, he was very entertaining. And see, just by you winning the fight and you being entertaining, you were going to get success. But now he can just focus all in on the entertaining part. And he's even found a way to capitalize off his undisciplinedness, because the more he drinks, the more entertaining he gets. So it's incredible. Sometimes in life, you just got to find your format. You got to find the format that works best for you. And you'll be surprised what can happen. And that's what I spent a lot of my life looking for, just finding the right formats for me, finding the right things that were designed for me and for me to be able to step in my purpose. So I just say that to say, if you're in a position and you just feel like things aren't working and you just feel like you don't know what you want to do or know what you want to be, you have to experiment a lot. Your purposes are going to change, but it's okay to keep changing your purposes, just understanding that you're just trying to find your format. Don't be afraid to try things. I'm a trier. I'll try so many things because I want to find that one thing that clicks. When you find that one thing that clicks, man, you'll take off from there. I promise you. But you just got to look at it like that. Some people are in scarcity. They keep trying the same ish that ain't working, and they wonder why they can never actually have success or be able to be sustainable. You got to keep trying things. Drop it if it ain't working. Move on to the next thing, because that'll get you that much closer to finding the format that is meant and designed for you. We all have gifts. We all have potential, but it's up to you to step into that and do the actions that would ultimately reveal and unveil your potential.
But as far as I'm concerned,
You can't
no,
have
we're
two
not
cases on the
dismissed.
ma'am, you can't have two cases going on the same issue. I'm not dismissing the case.
What's this say? It says entitled person sues a man for 10K for splitting the bill. What? So he must have split the bill on a date or something. And now she went back and tried to sue him for 10K? The bill was 10K? Let me see.
If you want
Well,
to
I tell
dismiss
you
it,
what.
that's up to you. But I, as a plaintiff, am not dismissing the case.
He has to make a proper motion.
You see how people will make up their own logic, like I said at the beginning? The judge said that the case dismissed. She's talking about you can dismiss whatever you want, judge, but I, as the plaintiff, is not dismissing the case. And she thinks that makes sense. And people get emotional and they get animated and they think that gives validity to the nonsense that's coming out of their mouth.
Well, that's on him.
But I can also transfer the venue to circuit.
Yes, that's what I thought, because there were other cases that should have been transferred somewhere else. So that's okay.
He's just kicking the can down the road. You ain't gonna get
Okay.
nowhere, lady.
I'm going to do that. Give me the form.
Yep. Get into it.
Ma'am, what about his costs associated with appearing because you filed it in the wrong court?
Oh,
I need to see because I was not aware, since you said perjury was not on there, I was not aware that a criminal offense for intentional infliction of emotional distress was considered a criminal offense there, that it had to be
I didn't say
brought
that.
forward.
That is not what I said.
man, that's not even their problem. You filed in the wrong court. So let's address that. Since we're trying to sue people for what we feel like we're owed, what about what you owe him because of your ignorance? And you filed in the wrong court. You wasted this man's time. This man might have had to take off work for this nonsense.
Said.
Yes,
that is not what I said.
I
said that. No, I didn't. You
yes,
said
you
that.
did. You stated
I said that circuit.
You stated that the criminal. You stated that emotional infliction of emotional distress is a criminal offense, and you.
Sir, judge, what are you doing? Judge, I know for a fact this man couldn't sit up here in your courtroom and talk to you like that. What are we doing? I'm going to need you to regulate your courtroom, judge. I can't be madder than you are. I'm 38 hot right now. So I need you to be that too.
Stated that perjury is a criminal offense, but you also stated that perjury is not on the document that I placed forth before you. So criminal offense would not.
It's not in the complaint.
On there.
It's not in the complaint.
I need you to show me. I need you to show me the document which states that intentional infliction of emotional distress is indeed.
Ain't this something? And see, this will be a woman talking about you. She expect you as a man to pay the bill, but you as a man, you can't tell her nothing. This will be in your own family. I would bet you when he was on the date, she really is mad because he probably was. Let me tell you something. If a man says, yeah, let's just go ahead and split the bill, that means that he has no intention of ever seeing you again. And you probably showed him something to where he said, for one, you probably ran up that bill. So that was probably the main indication. But then if you was talking like this, he said, ain't no way I could invite this into my life. And so she's suing for the bill, which was the effect. But I don't think she's really addressing the cause, as well as the fact that she probably wanted something with this man. And then when he just said, oh no, I can't do it. He's probably successful. He's probably whatever. So she was probably already like, oh yeah, I'm going to work him how I work him. And then she saw he wasn't going for it. So it got her expectations up. And then he said, nah, I don't want nothing to do with you. And so she felt some type of way. And it might have even hurt her ego a little bit. But ultimately, who can tell her anything? But yet she feels like she's supposed to be paid for as if she carries herself in a respectable manner.
And in fact, a criminal offense, because that's the original offense that was placed on there.
I never said that. I never
Yes, you
said
did.
that.
Yes, you
I
did.
never said
Yes,
that.
you did.
No, I did not. Ma'am,
Yes, you did.
And now the judge is getting emotional. Now the judge is getting emotional. And see, she thrives off this. You can tell she thrives off toxicity. She loves these type of exchanges. She people will get you to people will pull you out of character and get you to come into their territory, then they'll beat you with experience. Judge, you're not gonna if you're gonna get emotional like this, you ain't gonna win this. Judge, she only understands consequences. She only understands action. See, that's what that brother understood. He said he gave her some consequences. He said, "You paying for yourself tonight. I'm breaking my rule. I always pay for women, but you are the exception. You are completely out of order, and I feel like I will be doing you a disservice by rewarding your horrible behavior and your horrible attitude." And so, Judge, this is the type of woman you just have to put your money where your mouth is. Judge, I need you to do something. Hold her in contempt, whatever. But see, what we don't talk about, you can see this judge might be a little lazy because already you probably couldn't see it from that far. But look at his office. He got papers all over the place. This judge looks disorganized. So he probably doesn't want her to have to give him any extra work where he got to file something and try to hold her accountable. Even his hair. He looked like the Black Einstein. So he looks disorganized and he looks like he's stressed and he got a lot of backlog of work he got to handle. And so I get it, but we got to stand on principles, Judge. We got to start regulating because this can't just continue to go unchecked, in my opinion. I can listen, y'all, if y'all, because this was actually part 2. So if you want me to put it together and we actually watch this case from the beginning to the end, let me know and I will get working on that. But if not, then we'll just continue business as usual. But y'all, we're going to leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. Oh, excuse me. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So for that reason, it's usually best practice to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer, fresh video. And then also, if you want to become a member, the join button's on the video. So what becoming a member of the DXU family would come with is you would get badges next to your comments, and people will be able to see that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and exclusive content that is not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, join button's on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.